even before you start really diving into YNAB, there's one important step you should really consider doing, even before getting the application, but definitely when you have gotten the application, and maybe even after you've fooled around a bit, and even if you've gotten all your categories set up and you think you know them all, this step is very important. You go and check out your credit card statements from your bank, from your credit card company, wherever you spend money or wherever you get money from. If they give you a statement, print that statement out. And you want to do this year so far and all of last year. And I know some credit card companies that even allow you to print out a year in review. And if you can do that, definitely do that. And the reason why we want to do that is so we can actually get a grasp on what our categories really are so we don't get any surprises in the future. Because we're pretty much creatures of habit, and we'll buy the same stuff over and over, and we want to go as far back as last year and this year so far, because this year could change. It could be doing something totally different. But last year it gives a good grasp of what's going on. So you want to go through all your credit card and bank statements to see where your money goes. That's very important. This is just I just created this. This is a dummy statement. And they usually have the date, description, and the amount. And we're not really concerning ourselves with how much you're spending. That would just complicate the situation. We're just only caring about creating categories. And we're going to do that by grouping like things so you can budget for them. Trust me, it's not as complicated or time tedious as you might think it might be. Because I know some people don't want to do this because they got thousands upon thousands of lines of things they spend money on. And it's just confusing and it doesn't make you want to budget at all. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And of those groups, what you do is create categories. It's actually quite simple. So what you want to do is whip out a notebook, paper, pen, or get the computer or wherever. On the back of the printouts, you can do it that way. But you want to go and list off the things that you spend your money on, like getting gas at the gas station, health insurance, groceries, car maintenance, clothes, rent, electric. And all I'm doing is just looking at the statement. Like there's one for YNAB. If you're getting the software, you'll need to budget for that. I'm not concerning myself with the amount. Even things like Evernote is one thing. I'll make sure to note down. I don't care how many times I get it. But if you see a new thing, you want to go ahead and write it down, like car insurance. That is a huge one. Tires for the car, that's something you'll forget, especially if you buy them every 3, 4, or 5 years. That's something you totally will forget about budgeting for, and when you need tires for the car, it'll come to you as a surprise. Um, and you may have like Subway, Arby's, and Wendy's and all that. Don't concern yourself with writing all those down unless you really want to track them. But just do fast food. Just keep it simple. Uh, Renters insurance is a big one too, especially the once a year uh, things we pay. Renters insurance. Some people, either other versions of insurance, people might have like car insurance. You might only pay once a year, and if you don't budget for that throughout the year, you're really digging yourself a hole, and YNAB is not as effective unless you already know all your expenses. This is why we're going through, so we can know what we spent, and this is why you go this year so far, and you also pull up the statements from last year. And if you're feeling really crazy, you can go multiple years back to get a real grasp. I mean, I probably won't go beyond 5 years. That might be a little like ludicrous, but that's what I did. I went this year so far and last year, and that's pretty much all you really need to go far back for. Um, and you have other things like Netflix, and you might have Hulu, and you might want to consider just putting those together in like an entertainment category in YNAB. And what we're going to do with this list we create here is we're going to take these, and this is pretty much our categories for YNAB. A lot of them already in here, like transportation. You can be even more exact, like pressing that plus button and do gas, because that is what is on our category right there. And we can also highlight them because this is a pretty big one. Health insurance. Create a plus there. You can even create a group category, like for your car. This is a big group category. You can press right there. Gas can go there, or maintenance things can go right there. You can even grab it and pull it up here into the gas or car category, so it's with all its other friends. And like car insurance, you can't forget that. And that's how you will create your categories. Go through like haircuts. It's one thing I honestly forgot about. And what I did is create a new category called personal and put haircuts right there. That's something you forget about because you don't always. Well, some people get haircuts every 2 or 3 weeks, but I don't. Maybe a month or two. And it's something you forget about, especially when you're first starting out with YNAB. These little things you'll forget about. And the big one, too, you can't forget YNAB. And it's $50 a year. And of course, you do that number, you can just divide, or you can just do a simple $5 if you want to be overly good with it. But that is for a different topic. I'll link down below how you set up the accounts over here, and that goes into further detail and budgeting right here. But this is just to give you an idea of where you pull or where you get your categories from. Like you can't forget rent, the electric, even things if you have like Evernote or other yearly subscriptions, or even YouTube Red or whatever, Netflix. You can even create a TV category for that stuff and put your Netflix there, and you can also click on the name and you can say Netflix and Hulu. Even put the price of them together, or say they're $40. And I do highly recommend you put the price right here. This will help you with future budgeting. Well, that's how you go through all your past statements, credit cards, bank accounts, wherever you get money from or paid to. You want to pull them up, go through, organize them, pull out the ones, even things like donations. You'll forget about that, or simple things like going into a cookie place or the hotel you went to on your vacation. Maybe you go vacation, you always forget. You don't set any money aside, and you really would screw yourself over if you don't. Or other Netflix, the electric company, your cell phone, internet, the water bill. Don't forget Christmas gifts, birthdays. Birthdays are a pretty big one. And you go. Sometimes you go through these lists on your statements. And you're like, huh, I remember that day. I bought that gift for Tommy, who's my nephew or whatever. And like, I got to put him in the budget. And this is why you go through your categories. You don't have to go through it perfectly. You just want to go through, maybe even highlight if you want to, everything that stands out to you, but you just want to go and group things that are alike. Like fast food, that would be your Arby's and Subway and all that. It goes right there. McDonald's, your TV stuff will go in the Netflix and all that. Just to give you an idea, help you get organized and how you create your categories this way.